Okay, ladies, welcome to Empower Leads Call for January 17th. Super excited to pop in here and share some things I've been learning with you. As you guys might have seen, I posted in the team page that there's like continuous Facebook changes happening, right? So for me, like I really took to heart what Melanie Metro said on the wake up call 2 weeks ago, that we really need to be like learners again and like learning how things are changing and what's working and what's not. And I know for me that like doing the same thing for 4 years in a row now, like I kind of hit like a freak out mode where I'm like, oh my God, what do I need to change? So I'm trying to embrace it, and I'm really diving into some Instagram trainings because I feel like I really like Instagram. I really like how it works. I'm loving Instagram stories, and just really kind of loving learning how to best utilize it. So I'm just curious, are you guys all also using Instagram? I know most of you are. Yeah. Okay. So is learning Instagram, like learning how to master it, something that you guys want to do? Yeah. Okay. So I signed up for 2 Instagram trainings actually, and the one I did yesterday was specifically all about hashtags only. So I was thinking that we could kind of do this as like a 2-part thing, where this week I'm going to share everything I learned about hashtags, and then next week, as long as I get time this week to dive into the other training that I bought, then I can share next week, branching out more into like the rest of the things I'm learning on Instagram. So that's kind of my game plan. And I'm hoping that this will be helpful because it was super helpful for me. And I don't know about you guys, but like I've had the same set of Instagram hashtags that I've been using for like months now. And I've been noticing that I'm not getting a ton of new followers or traction. And I'm like, okay, I'm not doing something right here. I need to be learning how to like switch things up and make this work. So I saw this hashtag training and I was like, perfect. So if you don't have a notebook and a pen, I don't know if you guys missed that, make sure you have one because this is a lot of stuff to cover. And I have been working on it, but it's going to take some like legwork to sit down and actually search these things and go through them and then create the hashtags that are actually going to work for you, that you're going to, put in your note section of your phone so that when you post, you can copy paste them and don't have to think about it, right? Like that's the goal, is my goal in mind anyways. So I'm going to go through all of this stuff with you guys, and hopefully in the next week or so, we can sit down and take the time to actually implement this and make it work. If you guys hop on, can you mute yourselves, please?
Yeah, it was me, Dana. Sorry, I just got home from dance late.
Hey. Okay. So first and foremost, what she has you do in this training is to do brainstorming your list. So you're going to want to think about, and I wrote it out by numbers so it's easy to cover, but the first thing that she tells you to think about is, who do you want to serve? Who is your avatar or your ideal customer? And there's an avatar thing in our team page if you haven't done that before, but pretty much the same concept of, creating an avatar for Facebook, but like, who are we looking to serve? Like, is it moms? Is it runners? Is it corporate workers? Having an idea in mind of who you're trying to attract when you're posting on Instagram, right? That's number 1. The number 2 thing she said is picking 3 to 5 keywords. So it kind of seems like that one is supposed to be geared towards like your brand, and breaking that down into 3 to 5 words, which can be hard. But for example, for me, one of those is going to be single mom. The number 3 thing she said is events. So thinking about what events do the people that you want to attract go to. And she gave, for an example, like bridal showers, conferences, gyms, festivals, music concerts, things like that. Think about the events that people go to that you are trying to attract. Number 4 is the places. So places that these people want to go. So like if they're into going to cafes, and this kind of I felt like overlapped with number 3, but places that these people want to go, or places that you like to go, right? Because you want to find people that are kind of similar to you, ideally. Number 5 is businesses and brands. So this is like characteristics, demographics, like what age range are they, like what's their lifestyle look like, maybe what's like their family dynamic, characteristics that they have, and other things that they may like or be interested in. So businesses and brands. So like for us, we might think about like different fitness apparel that you like to wear. Is it Nike? Is it Old Navy? I love Forever 21, like things like that. Number 6 is influencers. So big niche leaders that your ideal customer might follow. So again, like thinking about people, say like, who are you interested in following on Instagram? Like who are those influencers that you like to follow that your ideal customer might follow as well? Number 7 is media. So thinking about like TV shows you like, radio, music, podcasts, magazines, books, things that media that you're interested in that your ideal customer might be interested in as well. Number 8 is hobbies. So what do these people like to do, and how do they share it? So, if you're into running or trail hiking or swimming, listing out painting, whatever those hobbies are that you have or that your ideal customer might have are helpful, because it's going to kind of narrow it down. If you're like, I'm looking for a single mom that's really into fitness. She likes Nike and Forever 21, and she also likes painting, right? So it's kind of like niching down as we go through these things. And then with that hobbies, she said to think about hashtags that people would use to share this experience. So like thinking about that hobby and what hashtags might be relevant for that specific hobby when people share that. And then number 9 was problems and challenges. So thinking about problems and challenges that you had or that your ideal customer might have. So this might be time management, mental wellness, nutrition, fitness. It might be, managing stress as a mom, whatever those things are, but like basically problems that we have solutions for with what we do as coaches, making a list of those things as well. So a lot of this I felt like is really similar to kind of like what we learn with Facebook. But it's all relevant for figuring out hashtags. So the next thing that she has you do is create a hashtag tree. And I don't really necessarily think it's, relevant to, you don't have to actually make the tree. I'm just going to share with you what she suggests. So she suggests a 2-word hashtag rule, like creating hashtags that are no less than 2 words combined, because 2 or more words means it's more well targeted. So instead of just saying like single mom, I could say Florida single mom, or I could say, Florida girl fitness or something like that, right? And then come up with like 3 root terms, back to what we did in the first exercise, 3 root terms that you're going to kind of branch off of. So, one could be fitness, and, creating hashtags that have 2 or more words in that hashtag that make it more specific and broken down. And then you're going to search to see what is suggested. So like, for example, what I searched was, I did like hashtag single mom, and you'll see that like when you type in a specific hashtag, if you go, I'm going to open my Instagram so I can tell you exactly where, if you haven't done this. But if you click in your search bar and then you scroll over to tags and you type in a specific hashtag, it'll pop up. I don't know if you guys can see my phone, but it'll pop up a specific list of all of these hashtags that are relevant for whatever given hashtag that you've put in. So she said to search and see what is suggested under those, and see if those are ones that you might like to pull from. And then also to get ideas to look at related pages. So like going back to those 9 things that we covered, like going through those, clicking on one, looking at the hashtags they use and seeing if those are something that might be relevant for you to use. And then also to go through the influencers of people that they might follow and see what hashtags they are using, that might be something that you want to be using as well. And now I don't know about you guys, but this part was super helpful for me because I'm always like, how many numbers should a hashtag have? Like, should it have a lot? Should it have a little? Because if you guys know, like when you post something that has a hashtag on it, if it has a lower amount, it's going to be seen more quickly, right? Because whoever's using that hashtag, if there's like 1 million people using it, as soon as you post your photo, it's probably way down in the Instagram feed under that hashtag, right? So her suggestion is to come up with these groups of 30 hashtags, at least 5 groups of them that are a little bit different so that you're not using the same ones over and over on every single post, but coming up with these 5 groups of 30 hashtags. And so here is like the rule of thumb is that if they are 1 million or more people using this hashtag, you're going to get quick engagement and high volume. If it's a medium hashtag, it's going to have 100,000 to 1 million hashtag uses, and it's going to have solid volume, but it's a little more targeted. And then if it's a small hashtag, that means that it's 100,000 people or less are using that hashtag. And so I guess the concept of it is to kind of create these smaller pods of a mix of large, medium, and small hashtags so that you have the most traction of people seeing your posts, but it's also with the smaller ones more targeted to the people that you want to, your ideal person that you want to reach. Does that make sense? Is anybody following me? Yeah, okay. Did anybody know this? Because I was like mind blown when I learned it. Yeah. Okay, so her example was that the pods that you create, the ranges you want to have is you want to have 5 to 10 large hashtags, 10 to 20 medium hashtags, 5 to 10 small hashtags. So an example could be you have 5 large hashtags that are 1 million or more. You have 20 medium hashtags that are 100,000 to 1 million. And then you have 5 small hashtags that are 100,000 people or less. And yeah, me too, Laura, like all my hashtags are basically around 100 to 200 because of that call we had months ago. So 5 large, 20 medium, 5 small, or you could do 10, 10, 10. You can break up the 30 however you want, but making sure that you have a mix of all 3 is what's going to be the most important to have effective hashtags. And then she says, like I said before, she mentions that you should ideally have no less than 3 and ideally 5 sets of different hashtags, 30 hashtags that you're using for different things, depending on what kind of a post you're posting. Do you miss? Okay, Stephanie, this was interesting to me actually, because I've had a lot of people say like put it in the comments or put it in the actual post. And I've been looking at certain coaches that crush it on Instagram, and some put it in their posts and some put it in the comments. And from this actual training, she didn't specify one being more effective than the other. She showed both ways, but she did say that you need to post it immediately after you follow your post if you're someone that's putting them in the comments. Because
I've noticed that if I do it later, if I forget and do it later, work. It doesn't get anybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and she said that's because that whenever you actually put it in the comments, if it's like an hour later, it's going to be way bumped down in the news feed from when you actually posted it. Like it doesn't, when you post them later on, it doesn't mean that you automatically get bumped up in that hashtag to the top. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she's saying to add your hashtags as quick as possible, which is like the whole point of, creating them, putting them in your notes section. And that way you can just go in and click copy paste and add them in there real quick when you do it. But Stephanie, she didn't specify one way being better than the other. I have been putting them in the comments forever. I've been recently putting them in the post because I've been more short-winded than normal. So I don't really see a difference either way. Could I repeat 4 and 5? Yeah, I'll go back to those at the end. I know I'm kind of going quickly. So a couple mistakes that she said that we should be looking to not make. is using hashtags that are like 1,000 or less people. They're too targeted. Not a lot of people are using them. Not a lot of eyes are going to actually be seeing what you're posting, right? And the whole concept of having at least 5 sets of hashtags is because if you have different hashtags, you're going to be connecting with different people that are searching those hashtags, right? Which is kind of like, hello, blonde moment that I keep using the same ones over and over. The next thing she said is that there's such a thing called hashtag fatigue, where if you use the same hashtags too often or all the time, that you can get decreased results because it's just like saturated. Now this is a big one, and I actually saw a lot of this today when I was in there searching hashtags, is like a spammy hashtag. So like some of the ones that I've searched for fitness, or for like work at home or like stay at home mom, it's all like LipSense distributors, you know, different products, different whatever. But like if you search a specific hashtag and all you see is like products or like join my teams or this and that, like you don't want to be using those hashtags because you're going to get spammy followers, right? Or people that aren't interested in what you're doing. So being aware that if you see that, you're going to get it back. So don't use those. And then she mentioned a shadow ban, but I don't really think that's too important. She said something about the fact that if you're using the same things to like over and over and over for an elongated period of time, that you could see your traction go down to 25%, which doesn't happen a lot, but it is a real thing in the Instagram world. So keeping it fresh is important. So, you know, every so often going into like maybe tweak our hashtags is what it seems like she was getting at with that. But let me go back to the 9 things. So basically, like with all of this, like I said, it's legwork. Like we're going to have to sit down, like list out, you know, the things that are relevant for these top 9 brainstorm lists, and then list out the hashtags, 2 or more words that we think we're going to be using. We're going to search those. We're going to search people that are using them. We're going to search influencers that might be related, see what they're doing, and eventually come up with this massive list of hashtags, and then kind of break it down into those components of large, medium, and small to make the 30 hashtags that we're actually going to be using on posts. So this is going to take a little bit of time to do, but I thought it was super helpful, and it made total sense why hashtags haven't been working for me. So going back to the brainstorm list, I'll try to go through slowly. But number 1 is, who do you serve? Who is your ideal customer or avatar? Number 2 is picking your 3 to 5 keywords. Number 3 is events. What types of events does your ideal customer go to? Number 4 is places. Where do they want to go, or where do they currently go? Number 5 is businesses and brands, including characteristics, demographics, and other things that they might like. Number 6 is influencers that they may follow. Number 7 is media that they're interested in, or that you're interested in. Number 8 is hobbies, and thinking about what hashtags they use to share their experience of those hobbies. And then number 9 is problems and challenges, and thinking about what solutions we have to offer. And that's basically it. The rest of it is going to take us sitting down and doing the search work. So does anybody have questions? There's a great app called Followers that has worked for you. Jordan, what does that app do? I feel like I've seen that in the App Store.
Jordan? It's really cool. It's kind of, it basically shows you, oh God, Dana just showed up on my Insta. It's just your big wide mouth thing. No, basically it's this cool little app that you can download. I can't remember if I paid for it or not. I probably did, but or I paid to like upgrade it.
Okay.
But it shows you who has followed you, who has unfollowed you, what your engagement is with your hashtags, like basically how much, the percentage of like if you use a certain hashtag, like how much engagement you've gotten on that hashtag, like all these other things.
It's free.
It shows who your audience is. I don't know. It's just been helpful to kind of see, because I can see like, okay, if certain people unfollow me, it's more likely they're these people that are like, also in the network marketing business or whatever. And so you don't worry about that. But then you see the other people that have engaged with you. It shows like who's engaged the most on your posts. So say, for instance, you have a lot of posts, you can go back and be like, okay, well, this person's engaged a lot, so I should probably reach out to that person or whatever. Whether she's liked, commented, I don't know. It's just been it's a fun app because it kind of just shows you like what you're doing
behind it.
It really goes line in line. So I don't know. If you want to like really keep track of it, I think it's a good app to have.
I just searched it in the App Store and it's free.
Yeah. I think once you download it though, it's going to be like, all right, well, you have to pay like $2.99 to like get all the, like unlock a lot of it. But
gotcha.
But I like it. It's fun to see.
Good to know. Thank you. Do you ladies have questions or comments? Is everybody excited to go make hashtags that work? I love it, Kelly. You totally have your niche down too.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can also, just go on. There's so many different, I just put in like nursing hashtags, and like there's so many different sites you just pull up, and it'll pull up like top 20 or whatever, and you can just kind of start pulling from some of them as a place to start. Yeah. And it's just easy to kind of, but so now I'm just trying to like have a diabetes one.
Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention that is super helpful. So so if you type in a hashtag in your search bar, right? And you see like in gray, like I showed you, you have all the suggested ones. If you click on one of those, at the top across the bar, it'll say related. And then like from the left to the right, it'll show you suggested hashtags that are also used by people that are using that hashtag. So like I hashtag single mommy, and it shows me related being silly faces, silly girl, stay-at-home mom. Like it'll give you related hashtags that are relevant to the one that you searched for, which is another really good way to find hashtags that might work for you. Missed where to find what? The related hashtags? Yeah. Just go into your search bar and like click on tags and type in a hashtag that you might want to use. And if you click on one of them, at the top of it, like right under the top where it says follow that hashtag, it'll say related, really small and gray. Do you see that? And then it'll give you suggested hashtags next to it that are related, relevant.
Bear with me. My phone's being stupid. I'm going to check it out. I'll let you know. Keep going.
Just where everyone is putting in, like sometimes I see a lot of times people put like one hashtag, and it's just not the time you take to put a post together, and you're putting one hashtag in, and it gives you just that little bit of viewing versus having these saved and having 30 put in there. And then you can go from having such a small amount to like an incredible amount of viewers. So you're gonna go through that effort, like just seriously try to come up with these and take the 20 minutes to like sit and focus or whatever, because it's such a huge difference in people following and liking you, at least what I've found. I will never do a post without 30 hashtags.
Yep. Back when we did that call, I don't know if you guys remember, with Robin, like probably 6 months ago or so, I had created some at that point. And I mean, my following has grown by about 600 people since that happened, but I have not switched those hashtags at all. And I really didn't do my research when I did them either. And I also, computer is going black. Oh my God. Did you guys see that?